In this video, you will learn what is a successful project, what are the 3 ways a project can end, what lessons does project failure teach us. Words of wisdom: the optimist, the glass is half full; the pessimist, the glass is half empty. To the project manager, the glass is twice as big as it needs to be. What is a successful project actually? Project can end in 3 ways. When you start a fresh project, there are various situations that influence it. A few elements will be consistent throughout all projects. A scope will be established for each project. Every project includes project objectives and goals. Every project has a project schedule. Finally, every project has a budget. There are 3 ways a project can be completed in relation to these 4 conditions. Successfully. This means that the scope, objectives and goals were achieved, the project was finished on schedule and the budget was met or exceeded. Challenged. This means that at minimum one of the 4 elements was not met. The project went over budget, took longer than projected, or the scope, objectives and goals were compromised in some way. Failed. A project that was abandoned or cancelled. There are 3 traits for each of these project types. Let's take a look at the characteristics of successful, challenged and failed projects. The bad news. Characteristics of failed projects. To begin with, the bad news. There are key causes observed in failed initiatives. These features are as follows. 1. Incomplete requirements list. 2. Stakeholders were not consulted. 3. There were insufficient resources to finish the project. 4. The anticipation for what might be reasonably achieved during the project was unrealistically high. 5. The assistance from the top wasn't enough. 6. The project's requirements were constantly shifting. 7. The project was poorly planned. 8. The project was no longer required. 9. There was insufficient management involvement. 10. Those participating lacked the necessary abilities to execute the job. These items are frequently easily correctable and avoidable, with a little foresight. Take the time to correctly prepare your project to prevent encountering any of these things during project execution. Slightly better now, projects that are challenged. Remember that challenging projects are completed but did not proceed exactly anticipated. While difficult projects and failed projects have some traits, they are diverse enough to warrant their own category. There are 5 characteristics of projects that were difficult to complete. 1. Stakeholder participation was minimal or non-existent. 2. The objectives and aims were not expressed clearly. 3. The objectives, aims and scope of the project were constantly shifting. 4. The project was not well received by management. 5. The team didn't have the technological expertise. As you can observe, these 5 factors are also reflected in the characteristics of a failed project. It is critical to keep the stakeholders engaged throughout the project process. Similarly, ensure that all your team members have undergone proper training. Finally, avoid increasing your scope statement by crystal clear regarding your objectives and make sure that everyone involved is committed to completing a successful project. Now the good stuff. Characteristics of a successful project. It stands to reason that successful projects have traits that are diametrically opposed of those of challenged and unsuccessful project. But what precisely are such characteristics? The following are the top 5. 1. The project process includes stakeholders and end users. Management is enthusiastic about the project and is actively involved in it. 3. The project's goals, scope and objectives are clearly specified, outlined and include a distinct action plan. 4. The project manager and the team have thoroughly planned the project. 5. The team members and stakeholders have realistic expectations. There you have it, a simple approach to define project success and failure in project management. You can prevent the distress and price of failed projects by implementing successful project characteristics. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. On my website, projectmanageriq.com, you can get free samples for your project management needs as well as training based on my 544-page book, Project Management for Managers. program and project portfolio management in banking. Please see details below in the description. What can project failure teach us? 5 project management lessons from experts. When running a project, many components must be managed concurrently: people, information, time, and also special obstacles and risks. Speaking of threats, even if you're an experienced expert, you're never free from the lesser or larger risks of project failure. If you peruse online communities and blogs as well as the agendas of real-life events, you will notice that the lively debate it sparks in the project management space. It is typically examined from the why perspective. For example, what are the causes of project failure? But there is another, equally crucial issue that appears to go unanswered. How can we learn from it? A Scottish reformer called Samuel Smiles remarked something that it remains true in the 19th century. We learn far more from failure than from victory. We frequently discover what we will do by discovering what we will not do. And he who never make a mistake certainly never made a discovery. So what discoveries must we make and what lessons can we learn from project failure? To uncover the answers, we will ask these project managers to explain one essential practical lesson they would recommend learning from a circumstance like this. Lesson 1. Know your stakeholders. Bob Tarn, the author of the Zen, Project Management and Life blog and the current executive project manager for IBM, gave an important lesson about avoiding failure due to misunderstanding among project stakeholders. I remembered the instance where I failed to consider the impact of transformation on my stakeholders and hit a stumbling block. My project had received executive support, therefore I was on the implementation. One stakeholder group, however, was not on board. I didn't make the effort to comprehend their worries at first. I tried to force the work forward, but they refused. In the end, I took the time to grasp their exact worries and was able to devise a solution to fit their specific requirements. So, even if you enjoy executive support, you must still take the effort to understand every stakeholder. Lesson 2. Maintain regular communication. Terry Griffith, professor of management and author of The Plugged-In Manager, thought about the communicative dangers that might contribute to the project failure. My main takeaway is to maintain regular communication in order to prevent bad situations awareness. People want to perform a good job and be in sync with other areas of the project, but if they lack situational awareness, their good intentions are just that. At its most extreme, a lack of communication leads to misperceptions of why the work isn't synchronizing. Psych 101 says that if anything goes wrong, it is the fault of the other person. If something goes well, it's because of me. Root causes might be misunderstood when communication is weak, contributing to a downhill spiral. Lesson 3. Share. Elizabeth Harin, who often shares her project management advice in A Girl's Guide to Project Management, emphasizes how valuable your experience may be to other project managers. My lesson is to share. It is pointless not to share. It is best for all if you are open about your failure and educate as many people as possible. We frequently fail to institutionalize project failure lessons, and the identical mistakes are repeated. Lesson 4. No project should fail. For Peter Taylor, widely known for his best-selling book The Lazy Project Manager, the advice delves further into organizational causes of project failure and provides plenty of motivation. I believe the single most important lesson we should all take away from project failure is there must never be such a thing as a project failure. Projects must deliver. They may not produce what was originally intended, but they should go one of the 3 distinct paths. Deliver the required business advantages, be modified to produce some benefits for business, or be discontinued as they aren't expected to produce the business benefits initially planned at any degree of success, or they focus on business benefits which are not relevant anymore. So project failure has little to do with specific project failing to deliver, but rather with the organization allowing such projects to simply keep going till the bitter end, for whatever business rationale. Lesson 5. Discuss, find root causes, take action, and codify lessons. When I ask myself the question, I realize that every failure teaches me something. There are steps to take to avoid this occurring again. There is a lot to convey. Here's how I would break it down into 4 easy steps. Hold on, open and positive team conversation regarding the failure. This helps to impart the lessons while also using their collective intellect. Examine the core reasons together. Create an urgent action plan to mitigate the effects of the project failure. Process and practice the lessons learned so that you know what to do the next time that occurs. This might be considered a long-term mode of communication. Failing a particular project may be a step forward to far better outcomes in your next one if you properly study the mistakes, draw conclusions and learn from them. Project failure is a rich source of professional learning, although a costly one. If you effectively do risk management via prototyping, pilot projects, minor iterations and research designed to validate or reject your major assumptions, you can receive a significant reduction on that cost. Something that would be considered a failure if it violated a major project operational assumptions turns into a piece of data if it is designed as an experiment. Click on the video card on the right to understand the lessons learned review. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. On my website projectmanageriq.com you can get free samples for your project management needs as well as training based on my 544-page book Project Management for Managers, Program and Project Portfolio Management in Banking, translated into 13 languages and counting. Please see the details below in the description and where to buy my book and what's the best program and project management software, PPM.